The Holocaust did not just happen in camps. The Jews died in the ghettos. They were shot in nearby forests or on cemeteries. Every single place holds the individual stories of Jews that we need to tell. Most of them are unknown until today.
When we think about the Holocaust, we think of places like Auschwitz, Treblinka, or Chelmno. Places where millions of Jewish men, women, and children were murdered. But what many people don't realize is that nearly 1/3 of the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust were killed in massacres that happened outside of these camps.
We are now on the Jewish cemetery of Izbica. There was the decision that the remaining ghettos in the Lublin district are to be liquidated, so everybody should be deported to the death camps. And since there were too many Jews still in the town, not everybody fit in the train, and the Germans decided that the remaining Jews were to be shot here on the Jewish cemetery. So the cemetery of Izbica is not only a cemetery of the former Jewish community, but also a mass grave of 1,000 Jews who were killed during the Holocaust. So we are now in Józefów, and in summer 1942, the killing actions in this region have arrived in almost every small town. However, towns like Józefów had no train station, and the Jews from here were not deported to Berżyc or to Sobibor, but the decision was made that Jews were to be killed on the spot. On July 13th in 1942, the police battalion 101 was brought here in the early morning hours. They rounded up the Jews in the town. The Germans had prepared the shooting sites already, and the Jews were brought here by trucks, and then they were shot one group after the other. The shooting lasted about 4 hours, and in the end of the day, 1,500 Jews from Józefów were murdered in this forest so close to their hometown. So we are now standing at the monument in Poniatowa, commemorating the mass murder that took place here on November 4th in 1943. Jewish prisoners of the factory in October 1943 had to dig out trenches. It was said that these trenches will serve against air raids and will be for security reasons, but it turned out that this is the trenches they had to dig out where the mass shooting is going to happen in November 4th. Everybody was brought here in the early morning, and then they were driven naked to the trenches. The living one had to lay down on the dead ones, and then they were shot by SS and police units in this day, and only one day, November 4th, during the so-called Aktion Erntefest, which is translated with Operation Harvest Festival, 14,000 Jews were murdered.
As anti-Jewish hatred is on the rise, so is Holocaust denial, distortion, and minimization. And as the years go by, those who survived the most horrific tragedy will soon no longer be there to tell their story. It's our duty and responsibility to remember all victims, including those who were murdered and lay in these forgotten graves.